And we are live. Did you miss us?
I missed us. Yes, absolutely. How could I not miss us?
Hey, I'm sorry. It was a little busy week last week, okay?
I don't know, babies coming into the world, just
I know, and I was just in the kitchen prepping up, finishing up the food, and my daughter, my daughter's staying here, so and she's like, I'm sure you want to show the baby off. I'm like, you know, I'm not necessarily saying it's a wise thing to show a baby off in a drinking podcast.
right.
I know, but everybody on here, because they're family with us, they all want to know. But yes, I had another grandson this week. And it has been a big week with us. So Friday, the baby finally came home. And I've been still, like, I think today is really the first day that all of us are kind of trying to get back to regular schedules.
Right.
So...
No, believe me, it's a little crazy over here because of all the snow and ice that we've had.
We had ice. Yeah, now like last weekend we had ice. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before we had ice. That's why, that was part of one of the reasons why. All right, we had so much going on with the cold weather here that I could not. I just texted you and I said, "Listen, we got to pull this off. This is going to be too much of a headache." Because Sunday, last week, we had such a freeze that I knew I was going to be dealing with frozen chickens or something.
Frozen everything.
Yeah, so I only had one line that we had to get out, and we got that working. But we're learning that what some things are going to deal with on temperature here, and some aren't. That we're going to still have to adjust on the property. Anyway.
Very cool. Well, we have something yummy that we are going to be sharing. I actually thought about what you showed me right before we came on, and I was like, I have it at home. I don't have it.
I know you have it.
I do have it, and it would have been gorgeous. But I also, my lower back is killing me, so I have like a little heating pad over here. So I'm trying to readjust so that way it holds me, and it's my massage therapist gave me a few things that I could use right now. So why don't you show everybody what it is that you have so that we can all drool.
I was going to put the plastic off of it first, so I get all that stuff out of the way. But I mean, come on, if we were going to talk about rye this week, our idea was going to be rye and kind of just food that we wanted to have.
Right.
All right. And you know what I mean? I had this when it comes to rye. This was the first one I realized I had. Now, I didn't go through the cabinet out in the house to see if I had anything else, but I had this little bottle of Jack Rye, which Jack Daniels does make a really good rye. But if you're going to have a rye, there is one ultimate to get every time. It is the ultimate rye, and the gentleman who put you and I together will probably agree with us.
True story. Yes.
Angel's Envy is probably one of the best ryes you're going to get out there. Of course, it is pricey. All right.
It is so worth it. It is so worth it. It is some yumminess. Yumminess. Well, I was glad and I did have it, and I didn't bring it to the office. Otherwise I go, hey, one of the ryes that I was told, oh, you need to get this so that you can put it in an old fashioned. And I've had it for a little while, and I still have some, but it's the Rittenhouse straight rye whiskey, 100 proof.
Yeah.
So that it's okay. And it makes a decent old fashioned. It's not bad. This is from Pennsylvania. It's a Pennsylvania style rye. So that even though it's made in Kentucky, it's a Pennsylvania style. So I went, I got to check it out. Sometimes people will give us ideas. And that was one of the ones that I had to check out. And I went, great. And what I was originally, I was going to go with Angel's Envy because I had that. I was also going to go to the liquor store, see what else is out there that I could get. But every so often, my buddies, it spoil me, so my friend Jay, this was last week. I, went to see Murray, the dog. He was here back in November. And so it's his fiance, Amber, one of my buddies. It's their dog. And so I got to go visit Murray. Well, while I was there, it's like, hey, would you like to try something? One of Jay's friends from LA had made a high rye. And I went, what? Well, I could try it. So bottles pulled out. I tried it and I said, oh, this is going on the podcast. So Jay said, take the bottle. And I went, okay. But how much was in the bottle? So I got the last of it and he shared. So Jay, thank you so much for giving me the last of it. But his friend down in LA, the Beverly High Rye, it's an American whiskey. And there is history behind this. Andrew Boren White, he is the founder, and he got together with with another distillery in Iowa, of all places, Cedar Ridge Distillery in Swisher, Iowa. And he came together with master distiller Murphy Quint. And they worked tirelessly to come together and put together what would be a vision of American whiskey in this effortless, luxury-inspired lifestyle that they wanted to bring bring forth. And so it took them a while, and they were, it's very rigorous to try to figure out the flavor palette that you want, how long you must distill it is one of the things, but also how much of the blend are you putting into it. So the Beverly High Rye has 50% straight rye and 50% straight bourbon. And so there's some cinnamon, some brown sugar, some nutmeg, and then there's the finish is a little caramely and toffee. I had it neat, and it was absolutely delicious neat. But I will be making a high rye renewal that is off their website. It's a cocktail master. He's the one that created the high rye renewal. But it wasn't until 2021 where barrel shed number 7, they're like, this is it. And so they came up with the high rye as well as the reserve. So the high rye was first released in May of 22 and the reserve until October of 23. So even though these are newer whiskeys and ryes, they have already been judged and they are world renowned. They've won 7 gold medals, prestigious competitions in San Francisco, World Spirits Competition, LA Spirits Awards, Bartender Spirits Awards, and now they're in world-class bars and hotels, retailers in California, New York, and Tennessee. So they have really had this vision and passion for a commitment to quality, and they created this. So I'm like, this is something that I'm like, I will get again. This one runs, at least when I was looking up at the prices, about $60 a bottle. That was on the high rye. I didn't look up the price of the reserve. I'm sure the reserve's probably over $100. I'll have to try that, but it was absolutely delicious. And I'm like, I gotta bring him on because this, to find something that is this delicious, and you know how picky I am, especially about my brown liquors. So I was like, oh, gotta have this. So Jay, thank you so much for sharing. And Andrew, thank you so much for being the founder and working with Murphy to create just something that I find absolutely delicious. And so what food are you pairing with your Angel's Envy? Because you're already eating.
No, I'm always going to eat. Come on, I'm hungry. By the time this show comes on, I'm starving every night. But I decided to just pick stuff I had in the refrigerator that was left over.
Okay. That's nothing bad with that. So
one of the reasons why is, I mean, think about it. Most nights you're sitting down at the table and you're having leftovers. You're going to go, what am I going to have to drink? Right? If you can't enjoy your drink with what you're having, what does it matter? Right?
Right.
So 2 things that we have left over in our refrigerator right now that we have to heat up is, number 1, we have some split pea soup.
Oh, yum. I haven't made
All right.
split pea.
Now I have a little bit of it. This one here was cooked with ham hocks,
Oh, of
and I
course.
have some pieces of ham that I've chopped up and put into it. The other thing I have left over in my my refrigerator is a lamb roast.
Oh, okay.
All right, which we did this in a nice slow cook method in the oven. All right, it was really really good with some potatoes, carrots, onions. All right, in a juice, kind of. My wife really likes a lot of the Julia Child's types
Oh,
recipes.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
done very similar to the Julia Child's recipe. So that type of lamb really is really good as a reheat. All right, and I'm not a leftover guy. I really don't like leftovers, but there are certain things that I like to heat up and eat, and that is the lamb and the soup are two things that I always love to reheat and eat. All right, and I figured I would try them both while having a little bit of two different ryes. So.
Perfect. Well, what I came up with was on Saturday, Friday, whatever day it was, Sean spent time outside in the snow and the freezing cold. And it took him longer to cook because he was using the barbecue, and it took the barbecue, even though it's a smaller one, a long time to really heat up. And then, of course, these were 1.5-inch thick pork chops. Or pork loins, actually, pork loins. It took longer to cook because it was so cold out, but they came out absolutely beautiful. And then he made mashed potatoes and then this delicious cream sauce with mushrooms and purple onions. And it was absolutely delicious. And so I said, this is going to be on the podcast on Monday for my rye because this is going to go. There is a lemon pepper plus other seasonings on the loin, and then there's lemon juice in the white sauce. So I sliced up my pork all nice and pretty, sliced up. It still has a little bit of pink, and I threw on the sauce. So I'm thinking with this cocktail, this would go very well. I knew it would go. My thought is this is going to go with rye. But once I found the high rye renewal that has lemon juice in it, I went, this is really good. So sometimes it's finding those flavors that are going to help pull out what you're eating and drinking. So having a little bit of lemon with the rye, so you get that caramely, rich flavor of the rye. You throw in some bitters and you throw in some Chambord, and this is a substitution instead of the creme de cassis. I know I probably messed that up, but and simple syrup. So combination of all of that, I think is going to go very well with the pork and the sauce because of the lemon. I think is going to just bring it together. And sometimes finding those cocktails just go very well. What I was originally thinking of making is an old fashioned, even though an old fashioned goes great with bourbon, putting it with the rye whiskey. Sometimes that's what I want to do. I did an old fashioned one time with the Angel's Envy, and it just went beautiful. But this time, even though that's what I was originally going to do, when I saw that high rye renewal, I said, oh no, this is the way I want to go. Because yes, citrus and citrus go well, but a little bit of lemon, I think this is going to go delicious. So that's why I went this direction. And so did your soup go a little bit too cold?
The soup was just not quite warm. I had a cold spot into it, so I ran it through another 30-second cycle in the microwave. And I'm going to probably eat most of the soup on the podcast tonight. But if not, I will be eating more of it when I get off.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I'm going to make it's 1.5 of the high rye, 3/4 of the lemon juice, 1/2 of the Chambord, 1/2 simple syrup, and then 1 dash of Angostura bitters. I have the Angostura at home. I'm using aromatic bitters, so a little bit different, but I think this would be better than the orange bitters. So I'm going with aromatic. Stir everything together and then put it in an old-fashioned glass, and then we can always garnish it. I do have an orange, but I didn't Oh, I do have an orange. Even though it's you can garnish it with a lemon peel or a lemon little circle. You know that those are always pretty good. Um, I think I have about 1.5 ounces of rye in here. I did have it when I was visiting, and it was delicious. Just the smell of it. Oh my goodness, it just has a really good smell. And we are off to the races with this cocktail. And I might have a little bit left, maybe, where I can just have a little sip. Ooh, I'm going to have like barely a sip left. Yeah. So I'm going to have just a teeny weeny little bit that I can have on its own, which I wouldn't be mad at that. Then I have my lemon. So I might go light on the lemon because even though I like lemon, I still want to be very cautious with the lemon because sometimes lemon can be a little overpowering. You can always add more. You can't remove it. So, yes. So it's okay to always be cautious and then just add a little bit. I'm also going to be a little, ooh, this one's new. And so this one is a 1/2 ounce.
I'm telling you, you know, this Angel's Envy all by itself, nice, neat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just taking that lamb and just like coating it with a sugar. It feels like it's coating it with sugar, baby.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not really sugar, but you know what I mean? It's like a sugar coating your lamb, baby.
Oh yeah.
Giving it such a warm feel in the throat. All right. As well as like, you know what I mean? You're chewing on I always love lamb and beef are two of my favorite meats.
Okay.
Right. But I feel like I'm in a steakhouse having a good piece of steak and just sipping my rye while I'm eating it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a rye is absolutely so delicious. I did have, while I was having this delicious pork dinner, I did have the Angel's Envy, not the rye, but just the regular, and just one little dash. Again, you can always add more. You can't remove it. So, and you don't want to ruin your delicious high class rye by overdoing something that you don't like. You got to make sure that you love what you're drinking. You're finding good ingredients. You're finding good flavors here that will just make everything just absolutely delicious. Okay, I'm going to put me on mute because this can be loud. So.
All right. I'm just going to be enjoying some more of this good piece of lamb. I always love it when I'm drinking bourbon, I'm drinking whiskeys, or I'm drinking ryes. I want something that's going to not burn on the sip, but burn going down. All right. It's like that afterburner that kind of warms up the steak even more after you've just eaten it.
Right. So I'm going to get a picture with the cocktail right there because that looks just so pretty. And let me pull this up and I want to get you in there's your cocktail. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to remove this for a moment. I know, always so patient in me getting those pictures in.
Well, somebody has to do run our social media.
I don't do that, Gray, but you know what?
You do better than I do. I'm in the online marketing game and I suck at social media.
You know, that's not even my favorite. That's not my strong suit, but I know that both my mom and one of my friends, you know, would always tell me, it's like, you're always posting food and liquor. And it's like, well, that's because these are fun things that I work with and I love taking pictures of, you know, so why would I not, you know, so this is going to be a fun one to, you know, when you have somebody that you know that's created something, it's just like, so, yum, yum, yum. So I'm going to put it right there so it's still visible. Oh my goodness, this is like very nice. So now I'm going to break into this deliciousness of pork. And let me move my mess over here because I'm. Leave it to me.
I'm doing mine neat. Let me ask our listeners. All right, tonight, if you're listening in, all right, do you drink your whiskeys, your ryes neat, or do you drink them on rocks? Hey, Rich.
Hi, folks.
So, I mean, when it comes to whiskeys and bourbons and stuff, I used to be an on ice guy. Now I'm a neat guy. I love without ice. I love it just a warm pour. All right. And I've been known to make a good glass of bourbon, whiskey, or rye last all through dinner. A good one shot could last me all. I usually could take 2 shots and make it go through dinner. But I love to sip, eat, sip, eat, sip, eat. It's just a great combination. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. That was a really good combination. Oh, absolutely. Sometimes I like to have like an old fashioned before dinner and then have dinner. And other times I'll drink my old fashioned with dinner. It just depends on what I'm eating and if it's going to go well or if I feel it's going to go well or not. And sometimes I'll have it afterwards. Now, I like mine. For the most part, I will have my Scotch neat. And sometimes I will do my big cube when I'm having a whiskey or a bourbon. If they don't have one big cube, then I'll ask for the biggest one cube they have, because I just want to give it just a little something, but I don't want it to get watered down. I don't want my alcohol to be watered down. I forgot my big cube in the freezer, and plus I've had a cough that after I got the flu, I ended up with a cough and it's not going away. So if I have anything too cold, I'm gonna start coughing. You probably hear my voice being a little hoarse today.
I think I gave that to you. I had that back in December.
Oh, you know what? And I thought it was one of my other folks that I met that we had an online meeting, and so I blamed her. It's like, you're the one who got me sick, girl.
Because online meetings is usually what gets you sick.
All the time.
Man.
So the sauce has that citrusy. And then with the lemon in here, I'm glad I reduced the amount of lemon. Otherwise, it would have been way too lemony. But I didn't put the full 1.5. I think I did just a little bit under on the rye. I think that even 2 ounces of rye, I think, would have been well with this, because then it would have been rye forward versus lemon forward. So I'm glad I toned down the lemon. And I think this would make a good old fashioned. I think that would be pretty yummy. And there are certain ryes that are better in mixed strengths. This is one that, in my opinion, it tastes really good by itself. And it just made this cocktail just taste yummy. So, and it goes well with this pork and sauce. And white sauces are very easy to make. This one had some wine in it, some lemon, the mushrooms, the purple onions, and then we didn't use heavy cream. We just used whole milk. And then, of course, we thickened it a little bit more because we were like, stir. And it's like, let's just thicken it with a little bit of cornstarch. You can use flour, but usually if you use flour in a sauce, then it becomes, the flour just kind of is there. So I prefer cornstarch. You just need less of it and just slowly but surely add it. You don't want to pour it all in because it might be too much. So just do it in and this pork is just still has that gorgeous pink color on the inside. That pink.
Wow.
Just a little bit of pink in there. This is perfect for sandwiches too. You can have it's still juicy. Oh my goodness, Sean did well with these. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for cooking.
When I was a kid, my favorite piece of meat to have was pork chops.
Really?
We had, and in the Northeast, we had a very thin pork chop. Not like nowadays, most of your pork chops you get from the markets are thicker. Right. We had a thin one. And I remember it was almost like a T-bone to it, right? I remember picking pork chops up and, eating it and sucking every piece of meat off that bone. It was my childhood favorite meat. And I think it was because it was a handheld meat, and you literally, the closer you got to the bone, the better the meat got. And it's like you wanted to suck it off that bone, because that bone it added flavor to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I remember, sucking on those bones, getting everything. Oh yeah. My mom, I had no issues with bones either. It's like, 2 hands, we didn't eat a whole lot of pork growing up. We did have some, but yeah, when we did, it was like the thin and eating those bones, or down to the bone. It wasn't until 2011 that one of my chef friends was visiting me in Texas, helping me pack before I moved to Oregon. And she's the one that made this delicious pork loin with rosemary and all the spices. It was absolutely delicious. And then the next day she sliced it and she made it a little pink, sliced it up and said, okay, let's have some sandwiches. And I was like, oh my goodness, that was like the first time I had something that was still with a little bit of pink in it and so delicious. And then being able to have it in sandwiches the next day, I was like, oh, I was hooked. And so now it's like, you got to have a little bit of pink inside and get the juiciness. And then knowing that the next day you can just slice it up really thinly. And in a sandwich, some mayo, lettuce, tomatoes. Oh yeah.
Wow. I used to take the pork loin and I would try to slice it as thin as I could for the next day. And I get those mini bagels, the little tiny ones, and make a small sandwich out of it, because the pork loin is about that big.
Right.
Right? Yeah. And then
I'll have to do that. I love that.
I would put a little bit of gravy to it too in my sandwiches.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Usually I make it into just like a cold deli sandwich, but I like that. Yeah.
But the sandwiches that I had growing up that I used to remember liking, we're talking about foods we like and what we've grown up with, that kind of feeds into our taste later in life. Back in the Northeast, we used to have these open face sandwiches. Mm-hmm. All right. They were roast beef, they were turkey, whatever. If it was roast beef, it would have beef gravy poured across it, and open sandwich was just flat open, and they would pour the beef, and you'd have potatoes next to it. Here was my in-diner favorites. Same thing I would do with that. I don't think I did it ever open face, but I would always put the gravy on because it would give me that flavor, a pork sandwich with that flavor to it with the gravy. Oh my God. That was heavenly.
Growing up, a lot of what we used to have, we'd buy the pitas, cut the top off, and then we'd fill it up usually with ham, because that was the most inexpensive deli meat.
Yeah.
So the ham, and then we would go to what was the farmer's market, if you will, but it's the Grand Central Market in downtown LA, which now it's not what it used to be. It was like back then you can get 10 pounds of tomatoes for $1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, just give us 5 pounds. We don't need 10. So we ate a lot of tomatoes, and they were just delicious. I would put a little bit of salt and eat the tomato just like an apple. It was just delicious. So we'd have sliced tomatoes in there, the beautiful lettuce in there, and it was like it was like a bib lettuce, or it was not your crunchy iceberg. It was like really good lettuce. And so it just looked gorgeous, this green coming out, and then the tomatoes and the deli meat in this pita, and just eat it just like that. We wouldn't even put mayo on it or anything. It was just so simple and so delicious during the summer. That's what we always ate. So it was like, yeah, some of the things that I'm reminded of. But growing up, I ate all sorts of flavors. All sorts of cuisines, different styles. And that's what I do now. I don't have one specific thing or one specific type of. It's like across the gamut. I'm willing to try different, recipes and different things and tweak them and make them my own. But I guess that's where the desire to try new things started, was back then.
I know we talk about foods, and you'll love it. The fact that you and I are close friends, is Mom said, "Well, there's this good Mexican place in town." I'm like, "There is?" I don't even know because authentic Mexican food I don't like. I like burritos, tacos. A good taco salad. I love some refried beans, right? But a lot of the authentic Mexican plates I just don't like. Tamales. I love tamales. But there's a lot of things I just don't like all combined together in a Mexican plate. I don't know why, right?
What kind of things do you not like together?
I just go to a Mexican food place and I just look at the menu and go, nah, give me the tacos. And if I don't like their tacos, I don't try anything else.
Oh yeah. Tacos are basic. Tacos should
I
be
know.
like so easy and they
Tacos are your French fries of the Mexican platter.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter just said from the kitchen, no, tortillas are. Anyway, but while Jess was in the hospital, the day she gave birth, we went, we were looking like what restaurants were close by the hospital because we're all there for hours starving.
Right.
I'm like, just order something. We'll go get it. We'll sit and eat it here in the room. And we sat in the waiting area and ate Thai food.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I was never a fan of Thai food until, until I can get I've got to introduce it to my palate little by little, right? To like it. I just told you I don't like Mexican food, but how many Mexican dishes did I just name? Right? Why? Because little by little, I like these things. Now, if you gave me the Thai food and said, well, here, try the sampler, a little bit of everything. No, I'm probably going to go, no, I don't like Thai food. Right? That's the same thing we're doing here with sampling certain stuff with this certain drink. I'm doing nothing more than pulling stuff out of my refrigerator tonight, putting it in the microwave, and finishing up a bottle of Jack Daniel's cheap rye and opening up a bottle of Angel Envy expensive rye.
From one end to the other.
I know, one end to the other, and I'm enjoying the whole thing. The point being, you can enjoy whatever you want to enjoy in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have to do it in taste bits here and there, do it in taste bits, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not sure if something's going to go with something, try it. Take a little bit. Now, this is my third time I've done a pour. My third pour. That's not a lot.
No.
Sip through it, right? Take a break. Add a little bit more.
And the thing is, this is the Angel's Envy is not something you can go and spend $3 to $5, to get a sample. That you're not going to find that. But if you're at the bar, then decide, hey, do I want to spend $12, $10 to $15, depending. Most of the time, anything above 15, you're going, you know what, just go get the bottle. But $10 to $15 to try something. And then, do I like it? Do I not like it? Do I want to spend $110 on something that I just tasted for $15? You're going to know, hey, yeah, go, it's a percentage of what you would spend overall. There's certain things like I will get a Glenlivet 12, no problem. But any 15 and an 18, I have it at home.
Well,
I have it here. A Glenfiddich 14 here and a Glenlivet. I know I have a Glenlivet 18 in here. The cost that I'm going to pay at a bar, no. I'm gonna have it at home because that is very expensive. Why would I spend $20 to $30 on a shot of something when I purchased it and it's at home? But I'll spend $8 to $13 on a Glenlivet 12. That's okay. I'm willing to do that because I have a certain price point that I'm willing to spend. I'm very particular,
Well, when I go out, that's when I'm trying things.
Yeah.
Now, the last couple of months, we haven't gone out that much. We've had a lot of stuff that just kept us in and not with a lot of outs. But I'm going out. That's the time I'm going to taste something.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I come up with. I remember the first, and there's actually, I think one of my Instagram videos was while I was on the trip for Craig Duswalt did his, and James Barber, they did this Story Power program in South Texas. Their bar down there, the guys made a really awesome Angel's Envy Old Fashioned. I think they used rye. I got a video of them making it.
Nice.
And I put the video on my Instagram, right? I wouldn't know to try that.
Yeah.
And I went on a trip. Now I have a bottle of rye, and I think I have a bottle. Yeah, I got about 1/3 of the bottle of Angel Smith bourbon sitting up there. That one got used a little bit. I liked it.
I was going to say, so I have to post it because I saw it. I was just given. Thank you, neighbor. Well, Sean's neighbor. He says, I've heard you're a connoisseur here. And he gives me this thick book, about that thick. 1001 whiskeys to try before you die.
Oh, yeah.
And as I'm flipping through, I was like, yep, had that one. Oop, had that one. Oop, had that one. Well, one of them is the bottle is half empty. The other one is the bottle is half full. And you're looking at it because they're the exact same thing. And I was like, half empty, half full. Well, it says, if you're at home and the bottle is here, then the bottle is half empty. But if you go to your friend's house and the bottle is here, don't worry, my friend, the bottle is half full. Keep drinking.
Keep drinking. Yep. Which drinking is meant to be enjoyed with friends.
Absolutely.
So I think it's one of the reasons why you and I became friends is we started drinking together on video because we're in two separate states.
Well,
anyway,
I'm going to have a sip of this Rittenhouse.
Okay.
Because my cocktail is gone.
I do have some ice. I'm going to pour when I finish this one here, I'm going to do a little bit of Angel's Envy over an ice cube and see.
Because this one, I don't remember. I'm sure I tasted it. I'm sure I did. It was recommended for an old fashioned. And because during that time I was making a lot of old fashions, that's why I think it was at the liquor store. They said, well, you got to try this. So they, all right. So I don't remember if I tried it by itself. I might have. And every time I've used it, it's always been in a mixed strength. It hasn't been by itself. But I will add 1 cube of ice into this, I think.
So I'm doing this one with ice. And again, I'm a neat guy, but every now and then you try.
Yeah.
All right. And I do know that when I taste this, it's going to be a total different taste because of the fact, number one, the ice cube, I don't have a full ice cube. It's going to melt into it some. So it is going to water the drink down. All right. But it is, going to chill the drink as well.
Yeah. And sometimes it's okay because what it does is that a little bit of water or an ice cube will open up that spirit. It'll So it's not a bad thing, but what you don't want your drink to happen is to dilute it. So that's why I will sometimes ask for what's the biggest cube you have because I want it to melt slowly. Yeah. And
people don't know about big cubes is they will not. That's why they do them. They'll melt slower.
Yep.
They're harder. They're frozen harder.
Mm-hmm. I will always ask, do you have the big cube? I went to this one bar after a networking event, and I was talking to one of the ladies, and we're chit-chatting, and she goes, well, my husband's meeting up with another couple. And I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen them in forever. They're like, come on over, have a drink. So I went over, I got to see them, and it's a quasi dive bar. It wasn't like a dive bar, but it was, just very casual. And so I said to the bartender, do you make a good old fashioned? And he says, well, yes, I do. However, he goes, this is a dive bar. So I don't have the big cube. I don't have this. And he goes, so I'll make you the best that I can with what I have. But if you're asking me if I make a good one, he goes, you're probably very particular and you probably want something better. And you're probably going to be disappointed. And I said, my man, I appreciate that. What do you recommend? And I forgot what he recommended, but it was like, I appreciate that, honesty. Just tell me, don't, oh yeah, I make a great old fashioned. And then I'm going to go, dude, really? No, you don't.
You don't.
Red Robin was one that I found out. It's like, oh, well, we have to follow a very specific recipe. It's like, well, I don't like your recipe. I just tried it. This is disgusting. Take it back. And after that, it's like if I dine into Red Robin, which I don't eat there very often, but when I was there a little bit more, it was, I would go with just beer, or
I would, because I was going to say, I go to Red Robin, I have a beer because it's usually burgers and beer.
Mm-hmm. They're cocktails.
I don't want to have an old fashioned with a burger.
No, it wasn't even an old fashioned that I asked there. It was something else. It was
Yeah.
I forgot what it was that I ordered, and
A
it was
mule. I might have a mule with a burger, but
I forgot what it was. I think it was something with vodka, and I was like, "How do you screw that up?" But it was just not good, and I'm like, So I was like, after that, I was like, going beer or their lemonade, their strawberry lemonade, two things that I like there.
oh man, wait. We got to do that sometime. We got to compare recipes for a spiked strawberry lemonade. Because there's 3 ways to do a spiked strawberry lemonade.
Just 3. Let's see, gin, vodka, tequila come to mind like that.
Vodka, tequila, rum.
Oh, rum.
Oh, I never thought gin. So you're right. There's 4. How many more can we? I mean, because I have always done tequila. I bought the tequila, vodka, and and rum.
I have a limoncello liqueur over here. Strawberry lemonade.
Not the same. No. Regular strawberry lemonade drink, and then you add the lemonade, or then you add your alcohol.
Okay.
Trying to make the strawberry and lemon with the alcohols, not the same. It is not the same as a true authentic. It's just like, it's really tough to see somebody who likes a strawberry infused moonshine, right? Strawberry infused moonshine, real strawberries sitting in moonshine for 7 days is a very, 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 very
that's a science experiment.
Pucker up type thing, right? You have to put a strawberry syrup in, right? But you take a real strawberries, you take real lemonade, add some ice cubes, all right, and swirl that thing into an icy drink. Then add your tequila or vodka or add your rum. I guarantee it's a total different drink.
Of course. That sounds like summer.
That sounds like something we'll be doing this July.
Summer. I love the idea. No, this was good. This Rittenhouse isn't too bad. Definitely the Beverly is.
And you still have a sip left to do. So
yes, I still have a sip left.
I get the feeling you and I will be sharing that sip. After the show tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can do that. Absolutely.
I think we'll probably be doing that. See, you guys, too bad you can't be here for the after show.
We do that sometimes with our peeps from the Insiders Club. We will have after shows. We have done that where we come together after the show. And a Zoom call, which is a totally different thing because it's not broadcast. Right. Yeah. And we're not recording either. So yes, and we do not record those. I'm sorry. Got to be in the Insiders Club. You don't know, but we should tell them. They should go to the website and join the Insiders Club. Go to likethewayyoudrink.com. You must be 21 to join or over. 21 or over. Yeah, you must be 21 or over to join. All right. And the reason we have an Insiders Club, can we just state this, guys? All right, is we want to do fun things. We want to do parties. All right. However, you must be 21 to do them. If you go to an alcohol company's website, the first thing they do is make you type in your date of birth. All right. We cannot promote. All right. We don't want to get in trouble. We cannot promote any alcohol type event to anyone under 21. So we don't promote our events to the general public. They're only promoted to the insiders. But it's free to join. You just have to prove you're 21 years of age. That's right. And I will tell you, so I was at Costco, and I think I mentioned this. This was a month or so ago. This is a liquid IV. I drink this because one of these is like one glass is like drinking 4 glasses of water, and I'm horrible with hydration. But this kind of helps with my hydration. Non-alcoholic electrolyte drink mix. It specifically says that. They have cucumber mojito as well as pina colada. My pina colada one, it's in my water bottle. Where's my it's in my water bottle. So pina colada's in here. A pina colada bottle. It's not a water bottle. It's a pina colada bottle, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, you do things different on this show. That's right. It's non-alcoholic. However, they cannot put these out at really anywhere, but at Costco, they were promoting the tangerine and the lemon lime and the others flavors. They could not have the cucumber mojito or the pina colada, even though it's non-alcoholic, because then they would have to tell the kids they could not taste it, even though it's non-alcoholic, because it alludes to an alcoholic drink. That's how picky the rules and regulations are, that even something that is non-alcoholic cannot be tasted in a public setting.
We're getting too woke in America, ladies and gentlemen.
So with something like this, now you know why we cannot be doing certain things. So work with us, go to Like the Way You Drink, and find out some of the fun stuff that we're doing. You know.
Yeah. So any shout outs this week for you?
Well, to Jay and Amber, thank you for introducing me to the Beverly High Rye. If it wasn't for you sharing your time and Murray with me, I would not have learned about the Beverly. So thank you so much. You guys rock. And Andrew and Murphy, thank you so much for putting together such a delicious rye. Now I don't know if I could find it. I might have to have my brother go buy it and send it to me from California. Ooh, did I just say that out loud? Shh, nobody heard that.
We don't do that. We don't do that much.
Yeah, right. So that's my shout out. And then another shout out to Renee, massage therapist here in my building. I have sent people to her. I have heard people rave about her. I've never used her. She's right here, 2 doors down. We see each other every day, and sometimes, into the weekend when I'm here. Something's wrong with my back, and she said, I can get you in today. So, and then she gave me a heating pad. She gave me the roller. I mean, I'm doing everything I can to get this pain to go away, because I'm about to go on to a conference. I need to be on being able to be movable. So Renee, appreciate you. You are awesome. So those are my 2 shout outs for today.
Okay, I was gonna say, it reminds me of a song, like 2 doors down, they're drinking and having fun, having a party. That's what she sings at your place. Yeah. Anyway, let's do our sponsorships. This show is brought to you every week, ladies and gentlemen, by both Gladys and I's businesses. So we want to tell you a little bit about our businesses, what we do, and how we help you. We're going to start with the ladies first, of course. Go for it.
Thank you, Tim. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design, helping employers become the employer of choice. Do you want to be an employer of choice? Well, how do you do that? Guess what? It's by giving employees what they want and need. You get to do that through employee benefits. There's 101 different ways that you can provide those benefits to your employees. Reach out to me. Go to insurancedesignpros.com. At the upper left-hand corner, you will see a white paper that will give you those 101 reasons. My book is coming out to go into more detail, but you can always schedule an appointment with me. Go to enrollnoworegon.com to have that conversation. Even if you're not in Oregon or Washington, guess what? I will still have that conversation with you and connect you with somebody, a broker that will take great care of you. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. And my co-host, Tim.
Hey guys, Tim Gillette, Simple Easy Websites. So let me tell you something we're started doing here in 2024. Simple Easy Websites has 3 divisions. 3, ladies and gentlemen, 3 divisions. Number 1, we do our regular 5 template websites, is what we started our business on. It was the foundation of what built us. They are templated. They're 5 pages. All right. They're up fast because of the fact that we get you up and with a result. The second division we have is called landing pages. You need a 1-page website. That's a specialty we have. Go in and find out a little bit more at our website. And the last one is custom web pages. If you have a paid website that is 6, 10, usually it's 10 pages or more, revolves around a little bit of, putting an API in, putting all this stuff in to integrate with our websites. That's our custom division. Go to simpleeasywebsites.com. Find out about all 3 of them right now. I'm Tim Gillette with Simple Easy Websites. Other than that, it's another week, girl.
Oh, I got a good picture of you on that one. I like this one.
Wow. Anyway, I know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all right, it is a joy bringing this. This is episode 91. We will be back next week with another episode, all right, and it's going to be something fun, something unique. We just don't know what it is yet.
We'll figure it out. We do know we're going to be having some bubbles on February 12th.
Yes, February 12th, we'll do bubbles.
Yep, so that one we do know. So just prepare yourself. That way you can go out and buy a bottle and figure out how you're going to pair that for your loved one or your friends. You know, sometimes you have, I remember one time going, one of my friends was visiting me in California, and we were out and about. And then I said, well, let's go out. Doesn't matter. And we went to dinner. She goes, well, so long as you don't hold my hand, I'm good. And I said, that's fine. You know, so we had a grand old time. I never held her hand, but I did give her a big hug, you know, and I think at some point I put my arms around her. So that's okay. You know, you can still have fun with your friends. And even if you're by yourself, you know what, show some love to yourself. Yep. That is okay. Sometimes that self-love and that relaxation and just getting away from everything just to make yourself recharge, that's not a bad thing. So we'll
that's a couple weeks away. It's not even next week. That's a couple weeks away.
But we got to let them know something so that they can come back, because we appreciate.
They'll be back next week because we're going to have something really cool. We just don't know what it is yet. You're going to have to tune in to find out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys next week. Have a great week, guys.